Shall we begin?
Let's begin.
All right. I'm Sally Al-Hadaf, and I am on the board of directors. I'm vice president this year. I use she, her pronouns, and I am a 70-ish-year-old woman with gray curly hair and a beige top.
And I am Tiffany. I use she, her, and they, them pronouns. And I'm a middle-aged, short person with brown wavy hair and tan olive skin. I'm wearing a white dress with a brown print today. And then I do want to acknowledge the other board members' presence as well. We have Arlene in the audience in person, and I believe Rich is online with us. So thank you. And with that, I will read some chalice lighting words. We light this chalice with words by Deanna Van Diver. As we light this chalice, a container of air, earth, and fire, this ritual of our faith reminds our subtle and crashing about beings that we are part of a collective, a community of care and connection, courage and questions, scared and sacred. Today we gather with intention and creativity, releasing what we must, shaping what we will, in a space made possible by generations of community care and the courage of connection.
Thank you. So I think we can go to the next slide. Oh, at least she didn't throw it at us. So our agenda today is to talk about the big question. So in '24, the board got together, did a retreat, and decided that one way to frame the work that the board needs to do in the next few years was to ask ourselves and to ask the congregation a big question. So today we're going to just do a recap of part one, and we have some people here who were there for part one. Today we're going to do part two. We're going to break up and do small group conversations, and then we're going to regroup and share, and then we're going to close. So next slide.
This slide is a simplified version of our vision of ministry. We have a more detailed one, and we have paper copies up here that we use to guide our thinking. But for today, we just wanted a more high-level overview to orient. This is sort of the framework that we're working with. And our three areas are reconnection within our community and with outside community. We're working on identity, who we have been, who we are now, and where we're going, as well as community care and building that beloved community that we all aspire to. And so one of the things that we as the board are engaging with is engaging the congregation in this big question and this discussion. So from there, I'll hand it to you.
All right. Next slide. So how shall we adapt to being a bigger congregation? Or, as we sort of tongue-in-cheek said, so we're growing, now what? In part one, we had sort of seed questions, and those were, who have we been? Who are we now? And where are we going? And you can go to the next slide. So we talked about, in part one, we talked about our past practices. Remember the birthdays, celebrations that we used to do. We did prayer requests. We had, it was just a little different time, a little smaller, a little more intimate. And we also talked about how do we measure growth? What is it exactly? Is it membership? Is it the number of people that you see? We also talked about money, and I remember we had this conversation about sometimes it seems like it's all about money. And that particular part was right at, I think it was right at the end of the stewardship drive, and it was true. We had been talking about money for months. We also, that year, completed the most successful stewardship drive in our history. So it's how we fund the programs that we offer. We also gave ourselves a pat on the back because we do some things really, really well. We have a good staff. We offer benefits. We have a wonderful Share the Plate program, and that has introduced us to a lot of community organizations and vice versa. And we have a very active Faith in Action group. And that informs a lot of other things that we do. We also do a pretty good job of reaching out to other communities. We also reach out to our own community. We have a very well-attended Thursday night community dinner. I attended one last Thursday night and hadn't been in a couple of months. Well, longer than that, before we took our break. And it was packed. So we do a really good job of some things.
So thank you, Sally. That was a great recap of the forum that we held back in April. Some of you were there for that. It is available on YouTube to watch again if you wanted to go more into those topics. Today, we want to go deeper with that exploration of growth because we know that when we're intentional about growth, we can do more. And we want to talk about what growth means in a congregation, especially in times like these, where so many people are reaching out for connection and groundedness in a time of otherwise uncertainty. So let's see. Maybe the slide before? Oh wait, no, not the agenda. There we go. Just one more back. There we go. Great. Yeah, growth can mean numbers, whether it's numbers of people who are here on Sunday mornings or that attend justice events or classes, Thursday dinners. It can mean diversity, having more diversity in all the ways that we are diverse as humans. Justice actions, community partnerships within and outside of our walls here at OUUC. Growth can be exciting, but it can also bring challenges. How do we welcome newcomers while also honoring the long-term members here and do all of our different initiatives? How do we keep mission at our center and keep growing in spirit and not just in size? So those are the questions that we're asking ourselves and that we want to engage further. And so we're hoping to have some small group discussions today. And with our group in the room, we might just two.
I would say two groups
Yeah.
would be plenty.
Two small groups. On the next slide, these are some questions that we wanted to use as prompts. Not necessary to cover every topic, but these are sort of some places to start to discuss within our groups. When we think about growth, what do we hope for our community? What worries or questions come with growth? And how can growth deepen and not dilute our values and commitments? What practices of welcome and inclusion feel most important to us? And beyond numbers, what does meaningful growth look like? And so
I want to say one more thing before we split up into groups, and that is to give you more information about why we're here today is because the board can ask the questions They can ask the questions of ourselves, but we don't have the answers. We don't have all the answers. And so that's really why we're here, because we want feedback, we want input from the congregation. So that's why we thought a question answer format for the previous year and now for the coming year would be a good way to get input.
So for each group, we're asking, let's see, we want a board member to be in the group so that we can listen and engage with the topic. For the online folks, we have Rich, who's going to be facilitating that group. Arlene, Sally, and I are also available. And then we would like one person to be a note taker for the group. And we have some easels here. So if somebody feels comfortable, once the small groups are formed, to determine who might be comfortable recording ideas. And then we can gather those ideas as well as report out to the group. So at the end, we might have an opportunity to share what was talked about in our small groups. Does that sound okay? Awesome.
That's the thumbs up. Getting the thumbs
So
up.
we'll leave these question prompts up while we're sorting ourselves into our small groups.
And of course, you're welcome to talk about any other topics related to this, but we thought it'd be good to have conversation starters. So let's just split in half. I want to wrap this up. Sorry about that. You have just a couple of minutes left. Hello, hello. Please wrap it up. Go to your last question. Remember to select somebody who can stand up and talk about what your group came up with. One hope and one challenge. That's all we want. One hope, one challenge. So we'll do that in about 3 or 4 minutes. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Carmel Shields, she, her, and
I'm going to write yours.
I love it. I'm a sheker. Oh, good. I do kind of mumble. Oh, you need to write. Thanks, Sally. I thought we just would say one thing or two.
Two things. What are
Okay.
2 things? We just need to write them down. Hey, there's a blank easel back there. I'm going to go use it.
Okay, so Sally's going to go write these down. I'll take a process moment here. So as I understand it, we are to talk about 2 things. One is hope, what we're hoping for, and the other is a challenge that we see. Okay, so we didn't speak specifically about challenges, but I will say that our biggest hope is that we are able, I'm going to put them together, we are able to attract diversity in all aspects of the word, families, young people, old people, people of color, people of different races, ethnicities, et cetera, and engage them. I'm putting that together, that we attract them and we are able to engage them in community. And I think our biggest challenge, if we talk about practices and worries, that we're really wanting more people to not just attend services or come for 1 or 2 times, but engage. And so that was a big part of our topic. And part of is the not knowing. We would say our challenges are that people sometimes don't know all the things that are going on in our community that they could possibly connect to, and how we can really maximize that through communications, announcements at Thursday dinners, share more about what are our groups, Reverend Sarah. What's our group? the spirit, what's the monthly topic thing? Soul Matters, dang, Soul Matters, a Soul Matters group, really so that they can come in at any point or participate right after Thursday night dinners or whatever, but just that instantaneous, get them. Okay, I think those are the two.
We both went for it at the same time. Okay, so kind of our hope is we had a discussion about brave spaces versus safe spaces. So we're hoping that we can become more of a brave space where discomfort is seen as growth versus a problem, where safe spaces we're more expected to be comfortable and getting uncomfortable with our discomfort and showing up as a brave space. We also talked about safety. So we do have open doors here. Anybody can come in, and we may or may not know their past or if they are a safe person to be here, and talked about training for the congregation about what that looks like. If someone is making somebody else uncomfortable, if they are here, what does that look like? We kind of covered children's supervision. We would love for kids to come in. But does that mean we're going to now have a whole bunch of children running around without parental supervision? And that churches are being targeted a lot right now. And so we kind of talked about how going back to the training and how we as the congregation can be included into the safety plan. What kind of trainings are we offering for the congregation? Because there is a safety plan, and we've had forums on the safety plan once last year, maybe a couple of years ago, that the staff and the board and some other people know, but do congregants know what that safety plan is, and how can we get involved in being in that safety plan? Is that everything? Group, yes? Okay. And we had several children in our group, so they asked for more chocolate and more rocks.
Thank you. And we have our third group here, our rogue group.
To get down to the basic questions, what are the challenges, or our hopes and our challenges? So our hope is to meet the diversity of needs, and our challenge is to meet the diversity of needs. And diversity comes in many forms, as we talked about, age or ethnicity or gender identity, or all of the different ways that people show up. What was the one other thing I was going to say about that? And one of some people feel their needs are more personal and spiritual, and some people are here more for the social justice, the big picture. Some are more for the more personal needs, and that's just one form of diversity of needs. So we strive to meet all the needs and all the diversity.
Thank you. And I was in this group as well, and I did hear some comments. Our hope is to meet the diversity of need, and we're inspired to see so much growth when we hear other congregations and other denominations are shrinking. And we do understand that it makes the task more complex for the minister and staff. And of course, we know that our minister and staff are really high quality and do a good job with that. So anything else, Sally? Did a great job capturing some ideas.
Anybody else want to contribute in our last 5 minutes or so? Do we have to be missing?
You hear from the online group today.
Perfect. Thanks for the reminder.
I knew we were missing something.
Can we speak up from here? Can you hear me okay? Oh, thank you. Thank you. We've been talking about a lot of things here, and I hope Rich will follow up after I mumble through what I have to say. One of the issues we're concerned about is that we don't get diluted. We have lots and lots of programs, but we continue, that's what draws people here, the diversity of our programs. And one of the issues that it addresses, it brings up is the demands upon our staff and how we need to keep that in mind as we develop ideas and all of how we will grow. But it's this program, the variety of programs and the way we offer them. The online material has been a terrific reaching out into the public. And we were thinking perhaps we could even advertise a little more about how we offer things online to people all over the country. Maybe through UUA we could advertise, but there were several other things. Rich, do you have any on your list that you want to include? You would need to be unmuted also. I don't know who's there. Can someone unmute Rich? Thank you. Somehow you're muted here.
Okay, between my device and the Zoom, I think we finally got it. So I would like to say thank you to all of the people online and all the people in person for the great thinking and sharing from the heart and the mind. And as a board member, I appreciate that. And I think our job has been to listen. And now we need to take what you've said and see how we can put that into practice. So thank you.
Anything else the individual wants to contribute? We've got some, well, we have a variety of hopes and challenges and trying to distill them down to a couple each is challenging, of course, but attracting diversity and then dealing with the challenges of diversity seems like that's a theme. And hopes, well, really the same thing, continue to attract more people, more ages, more colors, more everything. And to be mindful that that diversity doesn't dilute us, doesn't overwhelm our staff. And that was dilute, not delude, by the way. That we don't dilute our efforts and overtax our staff. Michael.
I think when people join a community like this, when people join a community like this and you want them to be more engaged, that let's say that that they take what they're learning, and when they have sufficiently learned it, then they can be volunteers to teach that same topic, so that you don't have to burden staff, you don't have to add staff. You just increase volunteers and give them more responsibility, because that makes them more engaged, and so it builds the community, it strengthens the community.
Gosh, I think we're going to end 3 minutes early, and we'll have to. I tried relighting the chalice, but I think it went out again.
I'll just extinguish the candle.
Okay.
So yeah, it came up in our group discussion that there's a quote that says, "Church is where we go to practice being human." And I think this is a really good example through our discussion and our small group sharing and sharing of ideas. These are big questions. There's no easy answers. So thank you all for being here and engaging with these questions. And with that, I will lead us in some chalice extinguishing words. This is from Krista Taves. It is our work, shared with each other in covenant, that creates and sustains this beloved community. We extinguish this chalice, but its light lives on in the direction we have chosen today. The light of this faith lives on in us, together in our hearts, minds, bodies, and spirits. Amen, and blessed be. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Really appreciate it.